Hello, it is me. I haven't done an update in a little while, and I feel kind of privileged in the situation that we're in right now, that everyone is, in lockdown basically with coronavirus, and it's kind of like my day-to-day life. So I feel like I have an obligation to give some advice of how I deal with it, and maybe it'll help you. So, Victoria, where I'm from, we are now in a state of disaster. I only knew we had a state of emergency. I didn't actually know there was another level, but there is. So, we were already in another lockdown, stage 3 lockdown 2.0. We were in lockdown in March, and now again we're in August now. And I did a video a while ago on some things that I do in my day-to-day life, dealing with staying home all the time. So because of my dysautonomia and my other invisible illnesses and disabilities, I spend a lot of time at home. I often can't go out for a very, very long time. It gets hard, and I hardly socialize. So my lovely internet friends, you out there, you're my real friends. So I did a little video on that a while ago, but now things are worse. So today there was even more people who died, 400 and something new infections in the past 24 hours. Murdoch and his gang of meanies spreading lies about Dan Andrews, who has been lovely and helping all of us. And obviously some of you would have been seeing my wear a mask song. But yes, so Victoria is now in a state of disaster, and we now have a curfew, and things like this haven't happened for us since World War II. Now, Victoria is basically my life now. Welcome to my life, Melburnians. Staying inside all the time, never seeing your friends, not being able to work. No, I don't mean to take that lightly at all. All I'm saying is, you have a right to be annoyed. You have a right to be frustrated and anxious. You do. But that annoyance is a privilege. So, able-bodied people are allowed to go out, their body lets them. They're allowed to work and date and have families and have friends. A lot of people like me, we can't. So, my body is basically on a curfew. I was on this medication once where I would just crash after about 5 o'clock. So I couldn't do anything, not even phone calls, after 5 o'clock. So my body was in a curfew. When the virus wasn't around, I couldn't go out a lot anyway, because walking around on my cane, I would just collapse. So there was no going out. And obviously then there was no working. I can't have a constant stream of thought for very long anyway, without getting brain fog, and obviously then the collapsing as well. So there was no work. So we're very much experiencing the same things now. It's a level playing field. And you're allowed to vent. You are. This is a once in 100-year thing for you. This is an everyday thing for me. Okay? Makes sense? So yeah, you're allowed to vent. You're allowed to do all these things. But just read the room a little bit and realize this privilege and think, you know what, when I'm able to go back to work, I'm going to make sure that it's a little bit more accessible. Yeah. So I'm drinking like a weirdo. My arthritis in my hands is really playing up today. So I have a bit of advice of how to not completely lose your mind while in lockdown. So I do a lot of crafts and things. I actually just finished this cross stitch. This is for a friend. And it's a narcissus, and it says, "Do you think Lord Hades has a sense of humour?" And it's from a book that I'm actually reading right now. From Scarlett St. Clair, Touch of Darkness. You have to read it. So good. So good. There's an audiobook of it too. And an ebook. So that's great for accessibility as well. Obviously people can do lots of video chats and calls. I have a lot of issues doing those with my disability. It's very hard for me to concentrate. But people can do that. Have you tried a Netflix party? I haven't been able to try that, but basically you can all watch the same movie with your friends when they're in different homes, but you're watching the same thing. I've been watching a lot of movies, actually. But I always do that. I've also really been getting into my music, so it's a really good time for people, especially if they've lost their jobs and things like that, and you can't look for work because there is no work, to really go into your hobbies, the things that you don't usually have the time for. But the thing is, you don't have to be productive. You're allowed to wallow for this whole time. I know that there's lots of things you might be seeing online of, these people have done this, and this, and it's only 2:00. You don't have to do that. It's a really stressful time. Really stressful. So you have to do whatever you can to stay mentally healthy. Now, with the new stage 4 state of disaster, we can only exercise for 1 hour. I know that really affects some people. I can't really exercise at all, so that doesn't change for me. I can do little walks around the block with my dog, which I still do. But even then, everything has to be within 5 kilometers of home, which I usually stay in that little area anyway. Because if I need help and I'm, 50 kilometers away, I'm not going to get help. So everyone's sort of living my life right now. And I'm not saying my life is great. It feels like crap a lot of the time. I feel like I have no independence whatsoever. And that just chews up all of my happiness. But your life will change. Eventually, it'll get better. Mine may not, but yours will. So we just gotta stick this out as much as we can. So a little update for me. So I've been working on my music a lot, and I have some songs on Spotify. You just gotta check Betty Foord, BetteFoord. I also have music available for purchase on iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play Music, pretty much every platform. You can also use my songs on TikTok, which a few people have done, and thank you so much for all those people spreading awareness about wearing masks. It's just, I love you all so much. But I just really want to say that anyone struggling with the mental health right now, I believe Lifeline also has a texting service, which is great, so you don't have to call. But please get help. No one has the right to judge anybody right now. We have never been in this situation before. Maybe the people who are over 100 years old technically have been in this situation, but they were babies before, so. But you're allowed to be sad. You're allowed to be scared. You're allowed to be angry. But just be kind to others as well. Now, I've seen a lot of things with these anti-maskers. First off, just but obviously there are people who can't wear masks because of health reasons. But the thing is, I know some of these people, but they admit that if they're that sick that they can't wear a mask, they stay home. If you have to be out for whatever reason. I believe that there are official sort of lanyards or cards passes, whatever that you can get from the government, so people don't think that you're just an asshole who doesn't care about other people. But all these, Karens from Bunnings and stuff like that, you're a horrible human being. I know that you don't care that you could kill me, my mother, my grandparents. But I saw an interesting thing where they're saying anti-maskers and things like that, people who don't care about other people, COVIDiots, they should go to the back of the line when they need ventilators. Now, obviously, we're not animals, we're not assholes, so people will get help. But it's just an interesting thought of, if you don't care about other people, so you're not going to wear a mask, why would you expect other people to care about you when you're at death's door? Now we have babies in emergency, we have people in their 20s and 30s. It's not just an old people thing, it's not just a sick people thing. It's attacking everybody. Please be smart. Be safe. And we'll make it through. We don't want any more people to die and to suffer. So please just follow the rules. It's really not that hard. And if you're really against it, you don't have to do those things. You don't have to wear a mask. You can stay home. That's your option. Stay home. Type about it. Show pictures of yourself not being happy. Fine. But stay the fuck at home. Be safe.